Welcome in, guys, to episode 4 of the Push to Talk podcast. So excited to be here. Massive amounts of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
But first off, I'm pretty honored to be joined by, I think we have to go with the title, game developer, head of Resurgent Studios.
Nice. I'll take that.
Big Fry. What's up, dude?
We
What's
like
up, dude?
those. Good, man. Just working away. Honestly, I look forward to this because it lets me kind of get my content creator hat on for a little bit. But yeah, just announced a big day. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But it's been good. It's been busy as fuck. But
yeah, if you guys have been staying tuned on Big Fry's Patreon, he's been dropping some behind the scenes stuff about how many hours we've been cranking on transients. So I can tell from those posts, keeping everybody up to date in Discord and Twitter and stuff, that you guys have been like cranking.
bro, the last call we were in on Discord, it tracked it, and we got up to 70 hours straight just working between people just pulling shifts. It's just ridiculous.
Holy cow, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a big day when she comes out on Steam.
Yeah, nervous to say the least, but it's gonna be a good one.
Imagine.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. You'd have to look at it at the end of the day. You guys did like everything within your control, to do a good job, and you
100%.
gave it your all, and whatever happens at that point. It's out of your control. So
that's all we can do.
Yeah, that's how you got to look at that. I'm going to try to get through this episode today because I have deer hunting on my brain.
My man.
And I got this giant deer I've been trying to get with my bow for like 3 weeks now, and it's consumed me mentally to try to get this thing.
You tweeted about it because I was in your stream and you were talking about it, and then after you left stream, you tweeted about it too. I saw that in the middle of the night. And you're just up.
Yeah, and I dreamed about him last night. Last night I went to go hunt this thing, and I know where he's like bedded down and where he's headed for food, and I cut this branches in the cedar tree to tuck into and hide with my bow. And he came walking out at 30 yards and then just turned and walked away. And I just have it burned into my retina, like how big his antlers are. And like, oh man, I just hope I can get him. So I'm going to keep trying, but I'm going to focus on gaming and not this deer.
Right.
Okay. It's perfectly normal for that to happen to people. So it's
that's
fine.
Awesome. He's been sending me pictures as well, just so you guys are aware. It is consuming this man. It is insane.
Yeah, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it because there is a lot of stuff going on in the shooter space, man. Holy cow, we have a ton to talk about today. So
absolutely.
Do we do it?
Well, before we get into that, I want to say, if you guys are listening to us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you guys are listening to podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. Let the platform know you enjoy the content. And if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the podcast and everything we got to talk about today. And make sure you guys check out the Patreon, patreon.com/BigFry, because we are powered by Patreon. Shout out to everybody who is supporting over there. And with that, I think we can jump straight into the meta breakdown. All right, guys, the big topic of discussion this week is 2 huge updates for Battlefield 6 during Season 1. Now, I'm going to be real. I haven't fucking played it. I haven't played anything in the last 2 weeks. I've just been working. So I'm going to be in your guys' position today. We're going to learn through the co-host Crash here. You tell me, you've been playing it feels like every time I see you live, you're playing some sort of Battlefield, Strike Point, or whatever.
Mainly Strike Point, yeah.
Tell me what's going on. What's this update? There's 2 big ones. Take it away.
Yeah. So they've been slowly picking away. You guys know I threw them a little bit under the bus at their slowness of fixing bugs, and I still pretty much stand by that because there's still some issues with movement. There's still some issues with some of the bloom and things not working right. Some recoil bugs here and there. There's one now going on where some of the certain high fire rate guns, as you shoot, part of the recoil is it lowers your sensitivity. So the gun tries to fight you and it doesn't. There's some issues, but yeah, they're working on it. I'm making it sound worse than it is because as far as positives with these updates, I feel like this game is starting to feel like an ecosystem that I hoped Battlefield would be.
Okay.
Because Strike Point's been my main game. I always find things in games to chase that generally have to do with me beating other actual players, and my win-loss in Strike Point is what I'm having fun trying to get up to 90%. I got it at 84.5, trying to get a 90% win rate. So
nice.
Lots of wins, lots of strategies, good comms with the homies on the Twitch stream. Been having a lot of fun playing it, but it's really cool that if I'm focusing on that, there's other things to do in this game. I like to start out my sessions by warming up with some conquest or some breakthrough, leveling up some guns that way that I might want to use for strike point. Again, if we want to kind of slow down the pace a little bit, we can play some of the red sec that's going on. There's some updates to that with some new things you can find in the map, and they're changing stuff within red sec a little bit within the BR. And it's just cool that you can find all those experiences now within like this same game, to where, you know, your keybinds feel the same, you're working on the same character, you're working on the same battle pass, and it's just cool to have all those experiences kind of in one thing. And I guess the main marquee feature of this update would have to be the new map, right? So they came out with the Eastwood map, which is the Southern California theme. At first I kind of thought, because I played Strike Point and I was so happy to see that they put the new map into Strike Point. So I was worried that Strike Point was going to be just like a one-off, okay, these are what you get, and they weren't going to make the variations and continue supporting it. But I was super happy and relieved to see that they did that. But the Strike Point portion of the map is the center golf course part, like the bar. So it actually makes an incredible map, because there are a bunch of different routes you can take to go in. Flank routes, you can go down below the patios, up and around. If you want to flank, you can get on the roof. We actually were doing some plays where we were C4 in the roof and blowing it out to get vertical to look down on the objective. And just, man, it's so good for Strike Point. So that's great. And then I got to thinking, did they just cut out like the part, like just kind of mail it in and cut out part of the BR map? But no, they didn't. They actually use those assets, but they built the out around it is different. It's not just part of the BR map.
Got you.
So so it is its own map that they did build. I've seen mixed opinions on the map itself, but what has been cool, I do have to say, I have to preface this with, we need a server browser. Like, that's always what we wanted. But the custom search is actually working pretty good, to where if I want to play Conquest and select the new map, it takes me there in the custom search now. So we did get to play some of that, and I got to see that it was different. And I like it. I'm an infantry player. I can go fight in the middle. I know some folks who are pilots mainly have some criticisms with the ceiling being too low, not enough room to maneuver around, and the pilots are kind of getting trashed. As an infantry player who hates vehicles, that makes me happy. But I want everybody to get theirs and play the game how they want to.
So would you compare this, like, size wise, bigger style map, or is it still kind of like?
It's got vehicles on it and all that stuff. It's not infantry only, but I would still consider it a medium-sized map. I know one of your criticisms was we need larger maps, and I think that's still very valid, and what I'm hearing.
Okay.
But some of the feedbacks that I've seen from devs and community managers and stuff, I think David Serlin in particular several weeks ago, was that like they are listening to that criticism of needing bigger maps. So if everything keeps going as it is and the game keeps doing well, I totally expect some of the later seasons to get those based on player feedback, to maybe expand some of that. I think they're getting that feedback. They didn't plan on it. So I would expect to see that. The new guns, I will admit, I haven't got to use yet. The DB12 shotgun and the 357 revolver. I love the 44 revolver, so I don't think I need another one, because I love head tapping people in Strike Point with that. But it shoots a little faster. It's got 2 extra bullets in the cylinder, not as much recoil, just a little lighter revolver. There's some portal updates. So they added a sandbox map, which is the box of sand, Fry, as the name would suggest.
Okay. Like an actual box of sand?
Yeah. So they added a clean slate that you can build off of, which is pretty cool. I still have, as far as criticisms with Portal, I'm a little bit frustrated that we ran into the same problems we had with 2042, where they had to nerf the experiences because of people, you know, they one of the big selling points pre-launch was play Portal how you want to, full XP, full progression. And then people played how they want to. And then they're like, whoa, can't do that. Can't do XP farms and all that stuff. So that was the same problem. And then I put it in the show notes, but there's actually somebody made a Portal mode that's like first person Minesweeper. You remember the old Microsoft game?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So it's got like boxes of sand with the numbers on it, and you use your sledgehammer to blow up the sand, and you can actually, like, you're walking around on the Minesweeper board.
I like how it also has the mini map in the corner that shows like the top down, like old mines. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really incredible. But it got broken. That mode got broken in this last update, and that was so the guy's gonna have to fix it and rebuild it. And I'm just frustrated. That was one of the things that killed really cool Portal modes in 2042. Is the people that built them, if they didn't have time, they just kind of lose support, because oftentimes the updates break them and they have to remake them or rebuild them or change things in them to get them to work. And I'm just frustrated that Those are some of the biggest problems I had with Portal in 2042, and they didn't address them. So it's kind of a bummer. Because I think Portal could be a lot better and a lot more user friendly, and get more content and stuff like that.
I was gonna say, like, is it just me, or like, I feel like the Portal hype before launch with like the only up and the vehicles coming down and the custom game, everybody was so excited. I feel like, I mean, we're scraping bottom of the barrel experiences here still, like people are still just trying to experiment with third person, and it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of like hype around it anymore. And I don't know if it's because of that server browser experience. I don't know.
It really does feel like deja vu with 2042, because the same thing happened, man. Like, everybody was hyped for it, and then it just kind of dies out. I think because it's hard to find experiences. Like, if somebody builds something cool, and if there's not a viral tweet about it, no one knows. Like, you can build a super cool mode, and then it just sits there in the Portal, in the server browser, that nobody goes to because they just want to go to the official experiences. So DICE said, they were going to maybe find cool modes and feature them later on. Hopefully they do that. That would help. That's one of the only things that I could see actually working to get people into these modes. But there's not a lot of incentive for people to build cool modes, because nobody can find them. Like, unless you already have a pre-existing community to fill some customs. It's like, I don't know. It's a bummer, but overall, I'm pretty thankful to have Strike Point, man. Like, that's making Battlefield so fun for me. I heard, not a controller player. I aim for myself. Just kidding. Had to take a dig there. I heard that aim assist is better. They reverted it to the beta, the way it was in the beta.
Okay.
And it just feels more consistent. There's not that big like change, like it's sticky up close and falls off farther you go.
Right.
It's supposed to be more consistent. Overall, people are liking it better. And I do have to say, I think it's actually pretty balanced between mouse and keyboard, and that might mean that mouse and keyboard's a little strong if I'm saying that. I don't notice, like in Call of Duty, man, like playing Search and Destroy, you'd slide past somebody and they just stick right to your face, and it's just like you could tell his aim assist. I don't have any of those moments, so I think they did a pretty good job. As far as issues with this update, I don't know if anybody else had this. It's a small thing, and this is going to sound like a first world problem. It completely reset my keybinds, and I hate shit like that. Like, and it takes me a while. It just
what?
I can't tell if you're
what they reset all your keybinds.
All right. Yeah, it did. And I got a real problem with it, Fry.
No, that would piss me off for sure.
I take my keybinds very seriously.
I will say, I was reading through the show notes and I saw that as one of like the top problems. I was like, you know what? That actually sounds like a pretty good update if that's the case. That does suck.
So, yeah.
But I mean, I'll take that over some of the bullshit that we've seen already.
No, but it I don't know, man. It's like a premium experience, a massive studio, and it reset my freaking keybinds. And it takes me a long time to go through them, because I'm very, very particular about them, because I play different shooters.
Yeah.
So I make sure they're the same across all the different games, so I can go and easily play different games. I have to be like, what was the keybind for this? And then, dude, I'm gonna get roasted.
Oh God.
But it's fine. I also have tape on my desk for my 360 distances, for my ADS and my
really?
Yeah, I have tape, so I make sure that all my 360s are the same.
Gotcha.
Across all the games, so they all feel the same. That's how I can be a legend ABI player and also have a 90% win rate and strike point.
Fair enough. I didn't even think about that, to be honest.
Dude, I have to, because I'm old, so I have to like dial everything else in.
Right.
My ancient eyes and reflexes are failing me, so I have to be like.
So it threw all of that off again.
Yeah, had to reset that. It also set me and not everybody's FOV, so it looked like I was looking through a toilet paper tube. So I had to go fix that. And then I had DLAA bugs, so the deep learning anti-aliasing, which in my opinion the game looks awesome with DLAA.
Yeah.
But it was doing a thing where if I would ADS, my screen would get staticky, and I saw a bunch of people having this trouble on Reddit. And I messaged one of the tech leads. I just tweeted it out, and they said, "Oh, that's interesting. They'll push it up the chain." So there were a lot of Reddit posts about it, and it sounds like they didn't even know about it. Every single round, I would have to switch my aliasing to TAA and then back, like at every start of match to get it to work.
Yeah, that would be annoying as fuck. Yep.
And they said audio improvements, but that was a lie. The audio is still very audio-y.
Is it?
Very,
but
I mean,
but
What?
nominated for best audio design. What are we talking about? Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have fun talking about that because there's some.
I can't wait for that one. Yeah.
There's some neckbeards on the old Twitter that are defending it. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's crazy. The golf cart's hilarious. Putting C4 on the golf cart. That's a good time. Man, it just feels good that we're getting these updates and these changes. I know I talked about some negatives, but man, overall, like exactly like you said, Fry, like I'm bitching about keybinds resetting. Like it's not that bad.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that. And it's also the other cool part is like we're just a couple weeks away from like the third portion of season 1 content. So we're gonna get another new game mode, presumably some more weapons, and then a snowy version of the Brooklyn map. So it's just like it's cool, man. It's feeling like Battlefield's like an actual AAA game, giving us AAA amounts of content, and it feels like they had time to prepare for this, and they had a vision that they went after, and they're still cranking on it, and it's cool. And you can nitpick it all day, but just kind of like you brought to it, like it's cool that we're arguing about piddly shit like that,
right?
Like bloom changes, stuff like that, and it's not like 2042 where like the house was burning down.
There's been more content in the last 2-3 weeks than we had in, I think, the first 6 months post-launch 2042.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I said when this game launched. One of the first things that I said was like, dude, we're actually got maps now, and they're not going to have to go rebuild all these maps because they spent all that time reworking all the launch maps for 2042. It's like, we are starting in a much better place. So this game's going to keep getting stuff added to it. They're still, talking to people on X and interacting with people and taking feedback. Florian, one of like the top gameplay guy, and Oliver Anderson, the tech lead, they've been like super interactive with the community, talking about bugs, being really transparent with what they're working on, what they're tracking, when we can expect it. So if you guys are like super hardcore into Battlefield, give those guys a follow. Some of the DICE devs are just really being transparent. So I have to applaud that. It's cool. Like, even though some of these issues are taking a long time to fix, I still have to take a step back and realize I'm a stupid gamer. I'm not a big time developer like you, Fry.
Okay.
I'm still a dumb gamer. It's like just push the button to fix it. Just change the code.
Yeah,
like,
just change the code and push the button to fix it. Like, a lot of people think that that's what it is. If I'm being honest, it's crazy.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I really like interviewing game devs. It's to bridge that knowledge gap and learn like how complicated it actually is. Is pretty cool. So hopefully we can do that sometime. Get some
for sure
some game devs on and talk about some of those challenges. I think that's a cool kind of, I don't know, way to look at an interview, is to learn some of those differences, like how gamers view it works and how it actually works. I love learning that stuff because I'm just like, dude, just fix it in the code and push the button to send it to everybody. Like, what's the big deal?
You're right. It should take like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Guys, I don't know if you knew this, but Call of Duty Black Ops 7 launched.
It did?
It did. It's
breaking news.
Breaking news. Yeah,
man. I saw over on the Steam charts that it only increased like the Steam player counts like 30,000. Yeah. Which I think for any game you would be like, oh, that's pretty awesome for like an indie game, but like, man, AAA, quadruple A, Call of Duty perennial, top of the food chain shooter to only increase 30K is wild. I also don't know if you saw some of these tweets. I forgot to mention it in the show notes. DICE said that Battlefield's the top selling multiplayer shooter this year. There's been some other charts from different firms that research console purchases and are kind of showing Battlefield up above Call of Duty and some of the most purchased games in like the UK Xbox store and stuff like that. So I know when it launched, some of those, you do have to take a little bit of those sensationalized headlines with a grain of salt, because if you look at the dates, they're talking about, through the month of October when it wasn't even launched yet. So in Black Ops, so you got to be careful. But I think the big takeaway from those news stories is like, Battlefield has a shot to outsell COD, and I didn't think that was ever going to be possible.
I felt like this year it was when we knew it was Black Ops 7, because I feel like, and I think the writing was on the wall with what they did Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3. When it goes back to back like that, it's going to be shit. And I mean, I've been seeing clips from the campaign and people playing it and saying exactly what I thought this game was going to be. I've heard the multiplayer is actually, like, if you're into Call of Duty, apparently it's a pretty good multiplayer. I just think most people are tired of that formula. and they found a different style to get that grounded experience in Battlefield 6 already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful to have Battlefield 6, and I'm so thankful that other people have our creators, because I still haven't messed with it yet. But looking at it, so I'm always interested, man. I'm peeking over the fence at search and destroy.
Yeah.
I love those modes. You guys know it. I'm so sorry. I say it all the time.
Yeah.
But I watched some of Marksman play it. He's like a really good S&D player. And man, even just I get where people get turned off if you're a Call of Duty fan. It's like it has the same animations of like when you're in the lobby, like where the characters are walking through and holding their guns and checking corners and stuff. It looks so much like last year's COD.
Yeah.
And then I was watching him play some rounds of Search, and one of the kill streaks was it was a gun that sees through the map, and it can wall bang through the map. So you just click on players to kill them, and those kill streaks and stuff. Like it's just like, it's so annoying, man. Some of the freebie like kills to get, people's little dopamine hits, even if you're not too good at the game. Like that stuff is just so tiring, man.
Yeah.
So what do you think this is a wake up call for COD? You think this is going to be a big enough of an L? I mean,
I think it has to be. And if it's not, then I mean, fuck them next year too. You know what I mean? Like next year's supposed to be Modern Warfare, right? That's the big rumor. And I think they're going to throw absolutely everything at it to not let this happen again. I think we're still too early. Like we're the 24th today when we're recording. The game came out, 10 days ago? Something like that?
Sure.
I don't think
I'm not 100% sure, man.
I don't think there's we haven't seen the fallout from this yet, because I think that, I mean, this is I think 2042 sold better than this. You know what I mean? And we all knew day one that game was fucked. So we haven't seen the fallout from the studio side yet. I think we're going to see articles come out over the next probably couple of months that are just saying that there's major shifts happening internally with how they're going to be, because they can't afford to take a loss like this.
But that's the thing with the 1 year release cycle that a lot of people are nitpicking, and that's the big question I have, because you have, technically they have more time because Infinity Ward's last game was Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2.
Right.
So they've had a little bit of time, but they're only having from now until the next game to like course correct if they think they need to. And I'm assuming internally there's a lot of people that want to, hey, we got to ground this thing. We got to bring it back down to Modern Warfare 2019 style campaign. We got to take some of these skins down, get this gameplay a little bit more chilled out to really bring some of the core audience back. And hopefully that's what they're saying. But I just worry that like if they've already spent a couple years working towards their thing, like towards their vision that they had previously, do they have enough time to course correct over the next 10 months or whatever it's going to be?
So a year of development is, I mean, you could go from 0 to 100 if you wanted to. The problem with these guys is they don't have a year, right? From now until when does COD marketing usually start ramping up? May, June?
Summer, yeah.
Yeah, this year was a little later, and I think I fucking know why now. But usually they start talking about it in May, June. Well, by that time, if you're changing like major gameplay decisions and taking that to a more grounded experience, cutting the whatever you had over the top content, trying to make those adjustments, I don't think you have a lot of time. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping for the best for Modern Warfare, because that's my favorite out of all of these different series. And I hope that Infinity Ward does for what they did with 2019 and course corrected in a way that I think brought a whole bunch of people back and brought hope back to that franchise. I hope they can do it next year. I don't really have a lot of faith, nor do I don't know, man, nor do I really care. Like I want, obviously you want everybody to win, but God, man, Call of Duty has squandered that top dog spot for so long. I think they took it for granted.
It does. It feels like it's something that happens in the business world when a company gets like so big that they don't think they can fail.
Yep.
And they just start chasing like how to maximize the dollar, and then they kind of lose their identity. I just feel like that's what's happened.
Yep.
And it's kind of cool to see. The other thing is I'm really interested to see, we're kind of thinking that they need to ground their game a little bit more. I want to see how some of these skins sell for Battlefield and see how they do, because they came out with the 323 skins, which are pretty darn cool, man. It might be the first time in a really long time I buy some Battlefield coins to buy some skins.
Ooh.
Because they and it even has some kind of lore about it too. So 323 is like an area code for part of Los Angeles. And they said that this is a group of, kind of think of the movie Red Dawn or whatever.
Mm,
These are a group of like retired and ex special forces people that got together whenever their country started to get attacked and kind of
mhm.
formed their own little coalition. And so they have like how you would think a retired special forces person would dress. They got the jeans, they got the flannel, they got the
It
plate
is
carrier
cool.
on. It looks sick. And I didn't hate the lore too. Like I kind of like the little backstory about how they're like retired special forces people that got together. The only thing that sucks is like you shell out the $24 or whatever for the skins, and then when you play, you get Pax Armada side, and you don't get to wear them. But
Right.
they did at least do the interchangeability where they're not class specific, so
Mhm.
you can wear those in different classes. You could talk about how that could mess with the readability in matches, and if you can't tell what class somebody is that you're going up against, you don't know what they have. I don't want to get that much into the weeds about how they affect the gameplay, but just from an industry standpoint, I'm excited to see how those sell and if they continue down that path and if that might have some influence on COD. But I think the skin's really cool.
Yeah. And the thing is about this, I don't know if they'll ever release these kind of numbers. Like I'm a data
Yeah.
guy. You never really find out how much things are selling until you see them course correct, right? So if we
Yeah.
start seeing more flashy shit come out in the next couple of months, you know that these skins didn't sell as well as they wanted them to, right? So
Yep. Yep. That's how you're gonna have to judge it. Cause like I
yeah,
said, we're not gonna see that the raw numbers, but you just have to kind of read into it how they
yeah.
play it moving forward. If they
No,
keep doing it, good. If they don't, oops,
no, those look
kind of
really
thing.
good. Actually, I'm looking at them right now. The one guy reminds me a lot of Captain Price, but that's okay. Um,
The dude with the shemagh around and like the blue
yeah.
long sleeve was looks like um not Jack Ryan. It's the same guy from The Office.
Oh, Idris Elba.
No, no, he was in The Office. Man, I can't
He
remember,
was
but
in The Office.
yeah.
I
And
don't.
he now he's been playing like action stuff. Man, he was in the horror movie where you have to be quiet, dude.
Oh,
Um,
you're talking John Krasinski.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
got you.
Yeah, it looks like him in like the movies that
Oh
he's been
yeah,
in.
yeah,
There
that's
was one
fair.
shot
Yep,
of him that looked exactly like he was dressed in one of the scenes.
yep, very
So they're
cool.
kind of basing it off that kind of stuff. So it would be cool to see him go down that route. I'm so sorry for that description, whatever the hell that was, but I
Well,
tried. I just want
Idris Elba also played in The Office. I was just like, okay, yeah, no, he was in there. Yeah, fair enough.
I
Yep.
just want I just want everybody to know during that I was trying really hard.
fair, fair
Just want the
enough.
listeners to know I
Yeah.
gave it all I had.
No, this looks really, really cool.
But yeah, man. So you got a lot of big shifts happening overall. The other one is like with the Tarkov Steam launch.
Yep.
I think that went exactly how I expected it to go. They
Yeah.
had server problems.
Yep.
They only had 10 years to prepare for it.
For
But
sure.
oh my gosh, a lot of people are playing.
Yep.
So they had server problems where a lot of people on Steam couldn't even get in the first day. The Steam numbers were a little bit lower, but 40,000
Yeah.
on Steam, which I thought was interesting that it's similar to ABI. I also kind of want to preface this, and we'll get into this when we talk about the Game Awards stuff. Is like
Sure.
I'm comparing numbers because it's fun to talk about. I'm not talking shit on any game, and
For
it
sure.
doesn't matter if there's a full lobby. It's not a dead game, and you can play it.
I
Play
agree.
what you want, man.
Yep,
Like
I agree.
I fully would also tell people and give the hint to just play what you want, even if the reviews, if it's a game you want to try it, form
Yep.
your own opinion. If there's 300,000 playing it, if there's 30,000 playing it, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Play what you want. I'm not doing that. It's just like you said, the industry and stuff is interesting to us, and that's kind of why we have this show and talk about that stuff. So it's cool to see the reception to that. And like we like we talked about, like Nikita said it was going to get review bombed, and it kind of did.
Oh, it
Kinda
did.
has.
It definitely did. Which
So
we were talking before the show. I'm a data guy, so when I talk about player numbers and stuff, I use it to try to figure out trends, and I try to figure out what is the average gamer thinking about, like, are they putting their time here? Are they putting the time there? And that kind of just shows where the industry is moving, right? I found it really interesting that Tarkov has 26,000 reviews on Steam compared to Arena Breakout with 30,000 reviews. One of them is at 76% positive, and one of them is at 34%. But when you ask anybody online, the conversation is Tarkov trumps ABI in every metric possible. It's the better game. It's not. So there's a strange disconnect when I'm looking at the data versus the actual conversations that people have. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is. And I may have main character syndrome in my life, but I just feel like that reason I can perfectly summarize why the reviews are like that. And like, spoiler alert, ABI has the better reviews, has the much higher percentage of reviews.
Yeah.
And I get the question all the time, why do you play this? Why don't you just play Tarkov?
Right.
And it's because ABI lets me fight players and not the game. I feel like when I play Tarkov, I'm fighting the game design more than I'm fighting other players, and I prefer to fight other players.
Why do you
Like
say that? Expand on the game design part. Why do you think you're fighting the game?
Once you get past the honeymoon stage in Tarkov, I feel like all of the time you run into stuff that is just tedious, especially some of the events and things like that, like how they design things almost to just it's almost to be frustrating just for the memes. I feel like there's not really a story reason to do that. It's not really fun. A lot of the events where like you have to kill this boss on this map, but it has like a 1% chance of spawning.
Right.
Or when they bounced around doing the found in raid stuff, not found in raid stuff, how just it completely changed the game, and neither way seemed that fun for me. I don't know, man. It's like, people will tell me all the time, well, you're just playing ABI because it holds your hand, because it has a mini map. I'm like, brother, you didn't learn Tarkov maps by playing it. You had a second monitor with the wiki maps open.
100%.
Like, you didn't learn all this squad, and it tells you where your quests are. And it's like, dude, you didn't just search around customs for hours and days to find where you have to take, or where you have to get the pocket watch from.
Yep.
Like, you look that stuff up on a wiki. That stuff's just in the game in ABI. Like, I don't have to have the wiki open.
Thank you.
It's not that different.
Yeah, exactly. All these people sitting here saying that it holds your hand. You summed it up perfectly. Like, you guys, I don't need to have a monitor with a fucking Google spreadsheet talking about the different ammo types and which one's better and which one does. ABI it's the streamlined. You can call it casual. I just call it like a better designed video game with more quality of life features.
Yeah.
And they got rid of the pay to win stuff, which was the big problem area for a lot of people before they went to Steam. And now we're seeing the reviews reflect that. So,
yep. Yeah. And the stuff too, like if I'm talking about game design stuff with Tarkov, and just like the most recent stuff is like how they've been trying to push Tarkov. I know we're getting kind of confusing with Arena all the time, but in the Tarkov Arena mode, they've almost made that to where you have to play it if you want to have the best chance in the extraction shooter, because you can upgrade and unlock the ref trader and get really meta stuff early on in the main game. And it's just how they kind of do that stuff to get the battle pass sold too. You can buy tier skips for good gear as well. It's almost like they kind of flip the script on the pay to win stuff. And I kind of saw BSG for what they were when they did the Unheard edition. And as someone who purchased the EOD, that was kind of the final straw for me. I had the EOD, and I was under the impression, based on their description of what the EOD edition was, that all future DLC I would get, I was paying 100 and whatever, $200. I can't remember what it was at the time.
Yeah,
to have the top premium supporter edition, always have the best stuff. And then they did the Unheard edition thing. They were saying that you had to, even if you had EOD, you had to buy single player Tarkov, or you had to buy the PvE version. I don't want to get confused with the mod. That just really pissed me off. How they kind of did that, and then how they're balancing to force people to play Arena. I don't know, man. I can just go over to Arena Breakout. I'm a few clicks away from having my character get geared how I want to. I'm in a match in 30 seconds instead of 10 minutes, and I'm fighting people, and I have all the information on my screen that I need to do so effectively. And I'm not constantly looking at a wiki, not trying to track flea market prices. I'm just playing the game. Like, and that's what I want to do in the evenings. And I want to fight other players in an extraction setting with those unpredictable fights that I can maneuver and flank and get into that. It's got a ranked mode that you rank up by killing and extracting, which is the two things I like to do in an extraction shooter. And it's just, like I said, I feel at the end of the day, elevator pitch, I feel like I'm fighting other players and not fighting the game.
And no, I think that's fair. Yeah, I wanted you to expand on it because I think a lot of people might not understand what that actually means. And here's the thing: like, there's a lot of people in my community that love Tarkov, and like, more power to you. I don't care what you're playing, but I do find it interesting, just the conversation versus the actual data. versus, you know, what's, especially for me, like what's going on inside my community. I have a lot of people who love Tarkov versus the general gaming public, which clearly there are issues that people are letting BSG know and using the reviews to do so. It's just, I find it all interesting.
It is. It's very interesting, and I love talking about it. And I'm not throwing shade at a person who plays Tarkov, because I get Tarkov. I had a lot of fun in it. Some of the most intense, crazy moments of any video game in Tarkov, and I get it. I get why you like it, and I also have to respect the game as well for really kickstarting the extraction genre. Yep. And I mean, just the depth of Tarkov is pretty incredible. And I know it took him 10 years to do, but making a game like that is pretty insane. What do you think? The one thing I thought of, my Crash's toilet thought of the week.
Sure.
What would the reception of Tarkov be if this was the first time, if this 1.0 with the new quest lines, the interactive traders, all the stuff they added, what if this was the first time people were playing Tarkov without the 10 years of trials to get here?
Does ABI exist in this reality?
Probably not, because they took a lot of inspiration from Tarkov.
They took a lot more than inspiration. I would say they took a chunk of flesh.
Yeah. Would the reception be different if this was the first time hands-on with the game and people were like, "Oh my"?
I don't think so. I think if Tarkov released 1.0 today, with Arc Raiders being out, with ABI being out, or not, or Arc Raiders existing now, shows a lot of people that there is an extraction shooter out there with a quality of life. And I know you're not a fan of third person, but I'm talking more just the actual piece of software itself. It's polished, the quality of life, the UI, just the polish there. When you look over the fence at Tarkov and those quality of life things, being able to open the map, being able to look at where your quests are, Tarkov doesn't have any of that. And I think that the reason why there's such a dedicated audience is because in 2015, when they went to alpha, there was nothing else like it. And in 2015, I think that was kind of before we had so many shitty extraction shooters come out after the fact, chasing Tarkov's tail and failing. So yep. I think if Tarkov doesn't come out, I don't even know if the genre is the same. I don't know if Arc Raiders exists. So
that's true.
You know,
yeah, it's interesting to think about.
I guess like there is a modicum of respect there for sure, but I do think that Tarkov is showing its age a little bit in the quality of life and in those streamlined features that I don't know if it would hit today.
And I do think they earned their place by being, you know, one of, if not the first to do it.
For sure.
When they did their Twitch Drops event back in the late 2010s, I'm not going to nail down a year, but it was like 2017, 18, something like that.
Yeah.
They did that first big Twitch drop thing where the game kind of took everything by storm and started the extract. They got a bunch of people. They got such a huge influx of players that a percentage was always going to stick with them.
For sure.
And they kind of stayed through.
Yeah.
And I get it too. Like as a Tarkov player, and you do learn that stuff. Like you learn the maps, you learn the quests, you learn the builds, you learn the ammo, you learn the armor. There's a part of you, and I had this with Siege, like you don't want to quit playing it because you put so much time into learning it, and then you feel like you wasted all that time. Like if you don't play it and all that knowledge, if you don't play it anymore. I've felt that with Siege a little bit because I haven't played it, you know, much since Siege X came out, and I have all that map knowledge and stuff in my head.
I mean, I'm the same with games like World of Warcraft. I don't like touching other MMOs because I know that they're not going to give me the same feeling that I get playing there. So I don't want to jump around. I have dabbled in other stuff, but I'm always in the back of my mind, man, I just wish I was playing WoW right now. Like, and that is where the Tarkov audience is. And I get it. It's just, I do find it strange that with that audience specifically, there is why are you playing this when you could be playing Tarkov? Whereas with me, I'm just internal about it. I play World of Warcraft. I don't give a fuck if you're playing Final Fantasy or New World or whatever. That's just a me thing. But they're vocal when people don't play Tarkov or have a vocal like distaste for it, which I do find interesting. It's cult-like in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it is. They're just like really, really passionate about their game, I guess, and they want you to be too. We might find some in the comments this week. I don't know.
That'll be fun.
but yeah, man, I don't know. I just, at the end of the day, all this stuff is fun to talk about. It's cool to kind of see where gaming's going, and I really enjoy talking about it, but it doesn't affect anybody. Like the games all have a healthy player base. You can play whatever you want. and I very much encourage you to do so.
For sure.
I just like I just like thinking about that kind of stuff. Like, somebody who has a ton of, it's like a sunken cost fallacy. Like, I've spent thousands of hours in this game. Like, I can't quit because I know how to play it. I go to play someone else and I don't want to go through that again. But
100%.
I get it. But try stuff out there, man. There's so many good games.
It is a great time to be an FPS player. There's no doubt about that.
FPS, I noticed you said.
I mean,
First person.
Well, I'm pandering to, a crowd of, I would say maybe not Neanderthals, but somebody who's a little bit less than when it comes to multiplayer experiences, because I mean, our Raiders is on a whole
I thought it could have been like a Freudian slip, like the superior perspective to play video games. Like, you really want to say FPS there.
I don't know. I like sniffing walls, brother.
You said it, not me.
Let's go to the patch notes, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the patch notes. We have a few topics here, not big like meta breakdown level discussions, but obviously we got the nominees for the Game Awards this week. There's a couple different categories we want to talk about here. I'm a little bit cheesed that Arc Raiders didn't get into best multiplayer. Oh wait, Arc Raiders did get best multiplayer,
yeah, it did.
Right?
Don't
Arc Raiders didn't get to Game of the Year, but for best multiplayer, we're sitting here, Elden Ring, Night Ring, and don't care. Peak, and don't really care. Did you end up playing Split Fiction? I know it's not really your style of game.
No, I didn't. I don't really even know what it is.
It's a fantastic co-op game. One of the best co-op games I've ever played in my life. But the big two, the juggernauts this year, Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders. Who do you think's going to win, Crash? Who you got?
I don't know, man. Since it's not best first person shooter.
Yes, you do. You know who's gonna win.
You want to say it? Oh, it's Arc Raiders is probably gonna win.
Damn right, it's
dude.
Arc
What if Peak won and we're both wrong? That'd be sweet.
I will say I think that there is a chance that Split Fiction actually does win, and I think I mean Peak is a great game, but I just don't see it winning. I don't know. Maybe I could see Split Fiction winning though. If you guys haven't played it, one of the best designed games I think I've ever seen. The amount of different puzzles and different mechanics they have throughout, it's fucking incredible. Best multiplayer though, I mean it has to go to Battlefield 6, right?
Yeah, the Elden Ring one, I get it because it's like merging the people and having co-op type stuff. It just doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like it's a multiplayer game still to me. Like I know it has those elements in it, but it just doesn't seem truly multiplayer. The too big for me. And I guess these nominees also make me realize how like closed off my view of gaming is because I just play shooters pretty much.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, Arc Raiders and Battlefield 6. And I think, I think it's a long shot for Battlefield 6 to win here. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I think as a Battlefield fan, you got to be pretty damn happy that we made the list here. We're just happy to be here.
Well, no, I mean, I will say,
I've always been through.
I think if this podcast was recorded like a month ago, I think Battlefield 6 would have it in the bag.
Yeah.
I think the hype around that launch and how explosive that was, insane. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to call it the fall off because they're still pulling great numbers, but you're starting to see the shift towards people jumping into Arc Raiders. I'm psyched that we're here.
Yeah. No, man, I do have to say it. Like Arc Raiders is awesome. I've watched a ton of it. What some of the big creators do, Burnt Peanut and like all those massive streamers doing that turf war thing over the last weekend to be able to see stuff like that. It's cool, man.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad it's a shooter that's doing well. And it's cool to see former DICE folks over at Embark just ripped one, baby. Like they did it.
Yeah,
and it's pretty cool. And to see something that's also what's also neat about all these is a lot of them are original IPs. I guess Battlefield's not, but something that they designed the world, the lore, all that stuff from scratch is like, and to have it pop is like, it's pretty cool to see. So Arc Raiders has to take it. It's been crazy. It's cool to see. They wouldn't really be indie because of Nexon, right? But like just like a smaller startup studio.
Yeah.
like slugging it with the big boys and maybe even winning, you know?
Yeah, I think that's
Pretty cool.
it's not indie, but like you said, like I don't know how big Embark is. I know they're a lot smaller than 5 studio juggernaut EA Battlefield Studios, right?
Yeah.
And they took both them and Call of Duty to task this year in terms of not only just player numbers, but like this like cultural phenomenon, like you said, the streamer wars and just everything going on around it. Yeah, they kind of just took the world by storm, and I'm super psyched. I'm doing a stream for the Game Awards. I don't know what you're doing December 11th, but I would love to invite you to throw on a nice black tux. We'll have a couple of drinks and we'll toast to Arc Raiders winning best multiplayer.
Dude,
I would love that.
Dude, if Battlefield 6 won though, I would,
I would take so many shots.
I'd rip my shirt off and like run around my room.
Yeah.
Be so funny. I'm telling you, man, watch Split Fiction win and then we'd both be like, oh,
I would honestly be okay with it because I think that game deserves it from a design perspective. I feel like Split Fiction should have been in the next topic or the next category, Game of the Year. Split Fiction was great, and I think it deserves it over some of these other fucking games in here. You haven't played any of the games in the Game of the Year category, correct?
That's correct. I have imposter syndrome and I shouldn't be here.
No, it's not that. You're an FPS fan at heart. I have played 3 of these games. And I'll be honest, like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, fantastic game. I feel like this is going to be a hot take. I feel like Hollow Knight Silksong is there only because of how hyped people were for the game to come out. And then when it did come out, I didn't hear a fucking thing about it. I didn't hear nobody talked about it afterwards. I don't see it. It felt like, I don't know. It just felt like a weird pick. And it's kind of how I feel about Death Stranding as well. Claire Obscure is going to win, right? I think
that's what I would say. Yeah. I do have an interesting take as someone from the outside of all these games, I've heard people talk about Claire Obscure Expedition 33 so much more than the others. I've heard people talk
every
about
single conversation about that game is it's Game of the Year. So
yeah, unless you're talking to me, then it's American Truck Simulator. But
great game, great game.
It's fine.
A lot of drinking, a lot of cowboy hats.
Hell yeah, brother.
The last category that we want to focus on during this show is honestly, for one, I can't fucking believe Arc Raiders didn't get involved here. That blows my mind. Best audio design.
So I'm gonna say that this is a little bit of a wrench in the gears of credibility for the Game Awards, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And this goes to my earlier topic of like, if your game didn't make it, it doesn't mean it's a bad game, because they put Battlefield 6 in for the best audio. And I know, based on the replies on Twitter, there's going to be people coming to defend the audio in Battlefield 6. But if you play the game in the tiniest bit of competitive, you know that the audio is dog shit right now in Battlefield, that they need to fix it. They're going to fix it. They have to. It's really bad. And it's just kind of funny that it made it here. I don't know how or why.
Well, I think there's 2 different people like judging these games. You know, like when Battlefield 6 first came out, man, we had like I said, the tanks blowing up, the jets flying over. All of that sounds awesome. It's cinema, Michael Bay, over the top. It's fucking crazy. But then like when you're playing competitively, it just falls flat on its face. And so I think, you know, audio design from like a cinematic perspective, I think, it probably deserves to be up there, you know, in the category. I don't know about that.
But I mean, that's where you lose me, is in that last keyword of design. Like, like if you're like best audio or most immersive audio or something like that, we're probably all right. But like the design is not good, because when you're designing audio for video game, it has to be able to serve, you know, the players of that game, and they missed the mark with the kind of the competitiveness of Battlefield a little bit. But I think they'll fix it. It feels like some of the most important sounds just get tossed off the end of the mix. You know, it's one of the lower tracks that gets kind of deleted when there's a lot of stuff going on. And occasionally that can be tanks and footsteps, because I have several clips of silent tanks rolling up to me in RedSec, and that's pretty rough. So it's kind of funny to see it here. Again, this is just kind of one of those examples you can point to of like, maybe they don't really know games that they're nominating all the
Like,
time.
I'm going to guarantee, like, Jeff Keighley isn't out here playing Battlefield 6, you know, looking for footsteps. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought it was surprising. I thought in terms of actual like design, I've just, like I said, I'm going to say it. I will die on this hill. I don't know how Arc Raiders isn't here. That game has one of the best soundscapes that I've ever heard in a game.
And doing, you know, the other side of the same coin, it's awesome for competitiveness. Like how the sound reverberates when you're inside buildings. I did play the tech test. For you people like, how's he doing this? He doesn't play it. I did play all the tech tests. But like even how the prox chat echoes, you can tell if someone's inside or outside. How the Arc sound and have their own unique sounds that they made from scratch. Like, and this is all okay. They should just replace Battle Raiders. I'll say it, man. I'll be honest.
You heard it here first, folks. Crash loves Arc Raiders. Big fan.
Not what I said.
But you will one day. I know that for a fact.
Okay, bud.
All right. The next topic is self-indulgent, so I don't want to introduce it. So I'm gonna need you to.
Well, I don't know if you guys have heard. There's a new game, a stealth action. I would call it an RPG shooter, kind of Max Payne. It's kind of Splinter Cell inspired, story-driven shooter experience. It's coming out. I heard December 4th is the rumor on the street.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Transients, man. And I will talk about it, so you don't have to, you know, toot your own horn.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool when people put their money where the mouth is. I'm not glazing fry because if it sucks, I'll tell you
for sure.
But and I'm sure everybody will. But don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. You can sleep tonight. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
No.
But yeah, man, it is just cool to see. And from my standpoint too, because I might have heard and known a little bit more about like how much effort has gone into this thing behind the scenes, how many hours have been put into it. But it's cool to see that, you know, Fry, just mute me so you don't have to hear this, but it's cool to see like how Fry has garnered a big audience of calling out asset flips, calling out games that suck, and to where he's like finally like, okay, I'll do it and I'll show you. And that's kind of what this game is he's showing a lot of people that you can build a game if you just care and work hard.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how it goes, man. Excited to see how it goes.
Me too. It's gonna be an interesting day. Yeah. So guys, listen, December 4th. I'm not gonna talk much about it, but by the time the next episode comes out, I was telling you, like, we got the before and after. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I'm happy. I'm tired. And yeah, December 4th, 1999, 15% discount. I was psyched. We got to partner up with a couple different studios to do some bundles, and all of that, you know, behind the scenes work there too. Like there's just so much going into it. Yeah, I hope it goes well because it's going to be a fucking interesting show if it doesn't.
Yeah. So I think for this show, let's frame it like that. So this is like our kind of, like our slice in time of like your pre-launch thoughts. So like what's one of the things that you're like most excited about for people to see from like a bird's eye view of the game?
I think bird's eye view, I'm obviously excited for them to, because the one thing I haven't really been able to talk about is the story. You know, we have a community member by the name of True Doom or Takoyo, who has been writing this story and working with us for 3 years on trying to just figure out, like, you know, he's never written for a video game. I've never built a video game. And so just trying to watch, well, basically for us, watching it all kind of come together in the last year with all of the cinematics and stuff. And we just, in the last month, we've gotten our final like audio passes on it. It's really cool. It feels, I don't know. It feels like a fucking video game. And I don't know. I'm excited for people to see the story. The demo, obviously a lot of people who played it said they loved the gunplay. It's only gotten better. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, honestly, for me, I'm excited to have the fucking thing out, and then we can focus on post-launch and I can get back to doing my thing. Cause it's just been a lot, but, I got one last question. So what is something that you didn't expect that you learned in game dev? I'm sure when you started this venture, you had like an idea of how things were going to go.
What's one of the things where you're like, dude, I did not expect that to be like that?
There's a few things, man. Well, I mean, just recently we've been, and I'll be honest, I just have to rant about it. We've been working through a bug trying to get a fucking door to open and close on command through like triggers and like different objective triggers, and using Unreal Engine 4 and watching the limitations with things like level sequences to move objects back and forth in different places has been a pain in the fucking ass. So for me, it's the little stuff that you don't think about is actually some of the more difficult stuff that we've ran into. You know, our gunplay was, I don't want to say set in stone, but we had the gunplay and the player controller down in 4 months. Like, it was feeling great right off the bat. And so that stuff was easy. You know, we talk about like Bloom and Battlefield and the recoil and all this. I feel like, you know, for us, like the gameplay felt dope from the jump, and then just all the little stuff after that. It's just been a lot. Yeah, a lot of things I didn't expect. I think the big thing is for me personally, I didn't expect to feel as disconnected from the internet as I have been. You know, we talk about like, well, through this process, games like Starfield have dropped, which got like completely panned by the internet. And I think because of what I've learned and what we've gone through, I can look at that game and go, man, like they did a lot there. I couldn't imagine making a game like that. And so there's a respect that I have for that I didn't expect to gain that respect. Yeah. And then I also didn't expect that when I shared that respect, it disconnected me from my audience a little bit. So that's been something that I've been dealing with for the past couple of years, just trying to figure out, like, I see games come out that I know could have been better, and then I call them out and I get shit for it. But I, like, behind the scenes, I know they could have done something, like they could have just put more fucking effort there. And then there's games come out that I think were fucking monumental efforts. You know, we talk about Call of Duty coming out with the yearly release cycle. As much as I know it hurts the final product, I am so fascinated by the organizational structure of those studios.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How do they constantly do that every single year? And granted, some of them are shit, some of them are good. I can't imagine the organization. So that's the stuff I've grown a huge appreciation for.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I speak for your audience or whatever, but I've noticed it in your videos that like you just have a more of a knowledge of like some of these projects that you're talking about. And
yeah,
I think it's made your content better because you're speaking from a place of true experience. But I'm with you too. One of the coolest interviews we did on my other podcast, The Scope, was we actually got to talk to Jim Heil from EA, who worked on the rendering and the optimization at 2042. That was an interesting one.
Yeah.
But he talked about like just the hundreds of people in Slack channels that were just for rendering and optimization.
Yeah.
Like, and how insane like the organization was for big projects like that. So
I can't fathom it. Like, dude, I'm sitting here talking to 6 guys in a Discord, and I'm overwhelmed because they're pulling me in. Hey, well, what do you think about this? Well, what are we doing here? Who's running the show over there?
Dude, yeah, it's crazy to think about that too. It's like you have like literally thousands of people working on code for one game, and like how does that all get put together and work?
Yeah. Well, and like so we use a program called Plastic, which lets us, like, when I'm working on a map, I check that map out. Right? Nobody else touch it, because when I push my changes, if you have changes, you're gonna end up overwriting me. And just navigating that with a small team it's already an organizational, not struggle, but you have to be on top of it. We have to make sure that we're checking out in Discord. We have a list of all the levels, and you put a little notification there if you're in it, so we know not to touch it. That's just with us. Thousands of people fucking doing it. I can't. And so I grow a lot of respect for that, even when things go wrong. You know, I get it. It's frustrating from a consumer perspective, but man, software and game development is unfucking believable when you really think about it.
I can imagine.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. I just want to get back to, I want to be a simpleton. Like, I just want to edit videos and shoot things. I'm fucking tired, you know?
You're almost back, baby. You're almost back.
There. Almost there.
Well, so the next episode would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, we'll talk about the mostly negative reviews. We'll talk about my career over all that bullshit. And,
we should pick some of the best ones.
Oh, it's gonna be a shit show. I'm not looking forward to that, but also I kind of am, because I don't know. I find that when there's negativity and shit around me, and that's when I just end up just making some of my best content. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think we could do a negative reviews best hits segment on the show. And it might be pretty good.
Don a couple hazmat suits and go into the comments. Yep.
Oh, yep. It could be wild.
Yeah.
The other thing that we were gonna hit real quick on the patch notes was I got to keep you guys updated on ABI, right?
Yep,
It's like I'm into it.
Yep.
I don't know if you know that.
Sure.
But yeah, there's some cool stuff coming ahead. There's only 2 weeks left in the weekly challenges thing, so that means the new season is likely around the corner. And Enzo, the lead producer, has been tweeting out some really cool teases. So there have been some more concept art images of the airport map. Also today, we actually got some in-engine like free cam footage of his computer screen flying around the new airport map. And it's cool because it's not on the mobile version. This is a brand new designed for Arena Breakout Infinite map. It's not on the global version. So we get to see a brand new map, and it really, man, it looks interchange inspired.
Yeah.
Take that for what it's worth. But there's like streets and woods around the outside, and then the main big building in the middle is the huge airport terminals. One side's got like overpasses and like a side, like a raised up street. So like there's going to be some verticality in the map. And I don't know if you can get up to the giant air traffic control tower and snipe from there. That would be insane. But you can see that. So I'm super excited to have another big map in the game. Also a brand new map that's not the mobile version. Will be really cool. And then the other teaser images that we got are snowy Northridge is coming for the winter event. So Northridge is probably my favorite map. It's the biggest one. And it's the one I spend the most time on. Forbidden Northridge is my mode of play that I like the best. So seeing the big resort in the snow time is going to be cool. And then they do have some patches coming in to bring the winter event. I'm happy to see that it's not just another recycled of last year's event. This one has some different stuff going on. So it looks like there's a new winter challenge quest line. There's with the winter festival, there's a new in-game raid item that you can extract with in exchange for loot in the event page. And I'm assuming, I'm really hopeful. I don't know if this update is going to bring the new, if it's going to come for next season or not, but the snowy Northridge, I'm hoping is for the winter event here in a few days. But that might be a surprise. They're not explicitly saying that. But there's a new winter Palmier food item that you can bring out in exchange for loot, and a bunch of different fixes and changes when it comes to that. There's still some issues with the game. They need to balance the HK. They need to make some changes to the loot limits and how you can kind of cheese that mechanic. But overall, it's a lot of fun. And I'm like so excited for that airport map. It looks sick, dude.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Looking at some of the screenshots here, and I did see that video. I don't know. I was mesmerized by, he was doing something on a box and like bringing the tarp up and down, and just watching it change in real time. I was like, oh, nice little tech there. That's very cool. Yeah. No, it's very cool. It's looking good. I'm surprised if it is coming for the winter event in a couple of days. You know a date of when that starts?
The winter event. So the event time starts November 28th. So
you guys might haven't announced that yet.
Happening. They just did a patch note in their Discord, so they haven't done like promotional of it or whatever. But I'm getting this information from a Discord post.
Got you. Okay, so it's the 28th. So if you guys are watching this publicly on YouTube, that means it's probably out right now. So that's cool.
Yeah, and then December 5th, it's kind of a rollout. The Winter Gold Chest event begins. And you'll have a chance of finding a Winter Festival cards in drawers and winter coats. Deliver them to earn cumulative gold chest rewards. And there's going to be an elf P90 skin. And 1.6 million Cohen.
Cool.
That you can get stuff. So, man, that's another thing. And I guess Targal has been doing better at this, but there's always events to do. Like if you're tired of questing or just looting around, there's always a different battle pass or event quest line you can follow. There's always stuff to do in ABI that you can access for free, which is cool. You don't have to pay anything.
That's awesome.
So yeah, ABI's cooking, man.
Hell yeah. Cool. I'm honestly like, I'm excited to get back to playing that as well. I haven't touched that in, I think, over a month. So yeah, that's gonna be a nice little return. All right, guys. I think with that, I think it's time for the patron party chat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Patron Party Chat. This is your opportunity as a Patreon member to leave a comment, leave a question, and we'll address it live on the show. Patreon.com/BigFry. And the one we have this week is from True Doom. He actually asked this right before the last episode, but we couldn't sneak it in. What are your opinions on one-hit kills like snipers and various shooters being a part of their core design? If you don't mind, I'll jump in. I really enjoy one-hit snipers in games where it makes sense to do so. I think getting a headshot in Halo with the sniper rifle just feels really good. I think in more, I don't know, is there one-shot snipers in games like ABI?
Yeah, for the most part. But it's hard to clarify that because sometimes there helmets have a ricochet chance.
True.
So there's always a chance for that, which is like, I don't know how you want to look at that as RNG or balance or whatever, but yeah, that's interesting to think about too.
See, and I'm not sure if I feel good about RNG chances for stuff like that. I like consistency when I'm shooting. I get why it exists for sure. But yeah, I guess like it really depends on the actual core design itself. And if it's a tough question to answer because you got to kind of see what the game is built around. In a game like Halo, it makes sense, but I wouldn't want to see something like that. Like if I'm getting one tapped in fucking ABI, I'm crashing out and just going to punch the monitor. But that's just me. So
that happens a lot to me even. Yeah, but that's part of the game, I guess. Yeah. I would say with one-hit kills, man, I like them for the fact of like you always have a chance in a fight. Like even if you can one-hit somebody, you have a chance to clutch stuff. If you're low on HP and they're pushing you and you have to take a shot, I love that you have one thing you can do. You always have a chance to get out of something, which is cool. But just like you said, like the rest of the game has to support that, has to understand that, because you can't have a gun that's like no sway, ultra fast ADS, and just quick scoping everybody all the time. That's not fun. And you have to, I think if you're designing a game like that, you have to think about how you feel and how awesome it feels to get the one hit, and then how shitty it feels to get hit by it. And kind of balance like that and make it challenging to get those one hit kills, right? Like the guns have to be heavy, they have to kind of have some sway to them, they have to be hard to use, like a
slower ADS as well. So once you get there, I feel you.
You're not quick scoping and stuff like that. But I think I'm kind of echoing what you said. We're like, it's a cool mechanic to have, but it like has to be balanced around it. And I get why some games don't have it, because like if a super high stakes game, like you said, ABI, it sucks, man. Getting one hit from especially somewhere you don't see, and then watching the kill cam, and it has been a rat fest in ABI lately. There's been a lot of people taking bolties out, doing that stuff. But yeah, man, one hit kills, I think they're awesome. Just from that standpoint of like, so you're saying there's a chance,
right?
Like if I'm down in a fight,
that
like
makes
I can
sense.
Try to,
and then actually, this isn't in the show notes. I got one question put to me in Discord here right before we went live here. Ask Crash. This is from Frosty. Ask Crash for a specific date on when he's doing Arc Raiders runs with you. And there's no bullshit. That was actually asked.
Frosty, get it together, man. What are you doing? An actual date, probably in the next month or so. That's a specific month.
That's it. We got a window, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost there. I'm
gonna buy it. I'm gonna do it.
Cool.
And I'll need you to carry me around and then laugh at me when I peek somebody.
We'll sniff walls together. We'll hold hands while we're doing it, and then we're gonna get so many good kills. And then we can talk shit over Prox Chat before we take them out.
Dude, man, I love Prox Chat so much. I love talking shit in Prox Chat.
Yeah, that's my shit.
I'll do it, Frosty. I'll do it.
Guys, we didn't really get a lot of questions this week. Those are the ones. If you guys do want to ask a question, leave a comment, anything you want us to talk about, let us know via Patreon in the Discord. There's a Patreon section there as well. We appreciate you guys' support. And with that, I think we go to the sleeper hits.
Yeah, that's on the list.
That is on the list.
All right, guys, welcome into Sleeper Hits. This is the part of the show where we pull up some stuff you might not have heard about. And the first one that I wanted to talk about, you may have, but we've been kind of following it along in this section of the show, and that is Black Budget. We talked about it. That if you follow along with the program, you knew this stuff. We talked about it early. You guys are in the know. But yeah, they did announce that they are doing alpha tests in December. the main thing I want to bring this to you guys' attention is you guys, if you want to play it, you need to go over to Steam and request access and get on the list, because they're doing it that way, where you can request access and they'll bring in different waves. Not sure if you'll get in or not, but it is as simple as pulling up the Steam page and clicking that green button to request access to get on the list. So you guys should definitely do that. And to add just a little bit of my opinion to it, I almost, with everything going on, I wasn't super excited about Black Budget because we have these other great games to play right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, seeing the gameplay videos on the Steam page, it made me excited, actually. Like the gameplay videos look sick on
Yeah.
this on the Steam page. So while you're requesting access, take a gander of those and let us know in the comments what you guys think of what you saw there, because yeah, that totally kind of changed the temperature for me on Black Budget and got me kind of excited for it, because it looks pretty cool. And as someone who very much respects Hunt Showdown, and I have some hours in Hunt Showdown and I love it, a modern version of that gets me pretty excited.
Yeah. Well, and like you've been talking about it, and you're kind of like the liaison for the show for Black Budget. And in my brain, I'm always like, yep, that's 2026. I'll see it when I see it. But now that it's like, okay, well, maybe we can play it in a couple of weeks here, just, even in a test, instantly way more into it at this point. And those screenshots, and it reminds me of like Gray Zone Warfare, but like with anomalies, and like it says like you're trapped in a time loop. So like it's like Gray Zone Warfare mixed with like active matter. It looks fucking cool.
It does look pretty cool. Yeah, I think how it is, like, you're a contractor and there's like an island where something happened, and that island is a time loop, like whatever anomaly it was.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the raid timer and stuff comes from. You have a certain amount of time before the timeline resets. So that's kind of like the lore behind it. And you have to go in and get the stuff you need, get the bounties, get the loot and stuff, and then you could run into monsters or you could run into people.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say before we move on, some of these environment shots remind me a lot of like an Arena Breakout, a little bit of Tarkov, with how much a detail is actually put into some of the assets here. Like the one shot with the 3 guys looting inside what looks like some sort of radio tower. The papers and the tablets and all the it's just littered with shit, and it visually looks really, really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point, and that's one of the reasons that I think it garners our attention, is the fact that it's a really big studio and they've been working on it for years.
Yeah.
So like it should have some manpower and I guess I should say human power behind it. Sorry, keep it PC. But yeah, it should they've put some time into it. It's a big studio for a long time, and I always get excited for those projects because they should be some of the best.
Absolutely. And before we move on to the next one, I just want to say December 12th to 14th and December 19th to the 21st is when these alpha tests are going to be happening. So a couple of weekend tests from the looks of it, which is pretty cool, kind of right before Christmas. So yeah.
And if you want, so I was just going to say, if you want to get into that, go over to that Steam page and click that green button and request access.
Do we know when we're going to hear if we got accepted or not? Like, when?
I feel like those things are always just like, they suck. Like, cause it starts and then you just have to go watch your Steam page and see if that green button turns to install.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be keeping eyes on, and hopefully I can actually get my hands on and we can talk about it, because I don't think it's going to be under NDA or anything either, which is super cool. So
yeah,
awesome. And the last sleeper hit for the week is a game that was announced a few weeks back that I kind of got like tipped up on. It's a game called Defect. I made a video about this the other day. I'm actually really excited for this. It's a cyberpunk squad-based immersive objective shooter from a new indie studio called Empty Vessel, which is made up of Naughty Dog, Treyarch. There's a bunch of different like industry veterans making up this studio. It's set in the last city of mankind, run by a cold authoritarian AI called the System. And you play as different factions, cops or rogue gangs, fighting over multi-objective missions in single-player, co-op, as well as a 4v4v4v4 PvPvE mode. Yeah, it's an immersive objective shooter. A lot of what people are saying is that it's very reminiscent of like a SWAT or Ready or Not, but they have insane destructibility. So you can blow holes in walls, floors. It looks fucking nuts. So yeah, I really wanted to put it on our radar. I don't know if it's something that you'd be interested in, Crash, but I think it looks pretty cool.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this. I'm hearing about this
Fair
now
enough.
for the very first time.
Fair enough.
But yeah, man, no, it looks really cool. I saw the destruction you're talking about in their gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm always down. Like the thought of a 4v4v4. Did I say enough fours mode? Like four fours. Yeah.
Four
So
fours.
16 4-player teams.
Yeah.
Sounds insane. And I'm always down for giving that a try.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool when you play modes like that. COD's done a couple with 3 teams. Alara Prime had that mode with like the ultra extra teams. It's a whole new layer of multiplayer to have, you know.
And check this out. So
have that going on.
When they say immersive objective shooter, what that means is every team has a different set of objectives within the map. So you might intersect with other players doing their own missions, or you might just completely avoid it. So there's
that sounds kind of like Gauntlet a little bit, but like a Gauntlet in Battlefield Red Sec, but like a little bit more arena style, like tighter.
Yeah, in Gauntlet, I think everybody's fighting over, you know, different areas of the map, or they're doing their own encryptions or whatever, but the objective is all the same. Whereas it sounds like with this, everybody has their own missions going into it, which I'm curious how that's going to play. I think that could be pretty cool, actually. Depends how big the maps are too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. I love original stuff like that. It's not just another, you know, 4v4 arena multiplayer respawn shooter, you know, over and over. So yeah, man. Cool.
Definitely
keep an eye on that one.
See it. So yeah, guys, we'll have the links to all the stuff down below if you're watching on YouTube. Can we put links in podcast form in Apple and stuff like that?
Yep, same thing in the show description. Yep.
There you guys go. So all that information is going to be down below for you guys. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Crash wants to go kill a deer. We're wrapping the show up. I want to go to sleep. It's time to go back to the lobby.
All right, guys, this is the last part of the show. You guys probably figured that out. You guys are smart ones. This is where we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna end it because I literally am going to take that bow and arrow and that pack and put it on me and go out and try to get this deer. Dude.
Tonight's the night, man. I feel it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I guess in a couple weeks. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you if I got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Jude, thanks for having me again on this show. Dude. It was fun. We went over a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
The next few weeks are going to be incredible. Good luck with transients, man.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you. And I know true fans are going to be there to support. And excited to see. I'm gonna play that thing.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be fun.
You're fine. Just breathe. Just breathe. You're fine.
I'm trying to breathe. We're trying to get shit done. But guys, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you watching. Whether you're on YouTube, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, wherever. Leave a rating for us, whether it's a like or a 5-star. Let us know your thoughts if you have opportunity to with comments. And if you guys want to check out the Patreon, patreon.com/BigFry. Crash, where can they find you before we sign off for the day?
Yeah, man, I'm on YouTube at Crash Game. It's at Crash Game. There's no S on that one. The title of the channel is Crash Games. FPS_Crash over on X, as well as I do a lot of streaming over on twitch.tv/Crash8. Crashes 1 through 7 were already taken. So I did the best I can there. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff on TikTok and with shorts, just doing small news bites.
Yeah.
And kind of reacting to shooter news on YouTube and on TikTok. And it's been pretty awesome. I'm having fun making those shorter videos, trying to pack information into them. And it's just what I love talking about, man. So that's why I'm thankful to be on this show.
Hell yeah. And if you guys want to check him out every weekday, what day is it now, Crash, on the Scope?
Yeah, we're doing Thursdays live on my channel with Buffner Gaming and Blue the Robot. We do another FPS podcast where we just kind of break down news stories of the week over there on my it's on Apple and Spotify and all that too, but we also do a live broadcast of that one on Thursday evenings around 5:30 Central Time on my YouTube channel.
Perfect. Awesome. And you guys can catch me everywhere, BigfryTV. Just search Big Fry and you'll most likely find me or somebody trying to be me. And with that, guys, we appreciate you tuning in to the Push Talk podcast, and we'll see you next time.